Welcome to this lesson of measurements, where we will look at how to express a derived unit into base units. To do that, we will look at a particular example where we will try to express joules in terms of base units. Now, to express any derived unit in terms of base units, we need to find an appropriate equation that relates the quantity of interest with other quantities, hopefully base units. We note that joules is the derived unit of energy. In this case, there are quite a few terms in physics that we have encountered that are energy terms. One is work done, which is expressed as force times displacement. The other is gravitational potential energy, which is given in terms of mgh. Finally, we also have kinetic energy, which is expressed as half mv squared. For my example today, I'm just going to choose the first equation, W is equals to Fs. You can try to use the other two equations later as practice to show that the base unit of joules will work out to the same answer. Back to W equals to Fs. Now the unit of work done is joules, and that can be expressed as Newton, the unit for force, times meter, the unit for displacement. But we are not done. This is because the question wants us to express the answer in terms of base units only. We will need to convert newtons to base units, as Newton is also a derived unit. To do that, we will need an equation that relates force with other physical quantities. An appropriate equation will be F equals to ma. Using that, Newton can now be written as kg, the unit for mass, times meter per second squared, the unit for acceleration. With that, we can find our answer by applying the indices law and grouping the similar two terms together. And the final answer will be kg to the power of 1, meter to the power of 2, and seconds to the power of minus 2. I hope with this example, you have an idea of how to express derived unit in terms of base units. The same technique can also be used for expressing any unit in terms of other units. Let us now sum the general steps to express a derived unit into base units. Number 1, we will need to find an equation that expresses the associated derived quantity in terms of other quantities, preferably base quantities. Number 2, we will now express the units with the associated quantities. Number 3, if there are any other further derived units in the intermediate steps, then we will need to further express these derived units in terms of base units until all the derived units are replaced with base units. Finally, we will use the indices laws to group the base units together to find the final answer in terms of base units. So these are the steps to express a derived unit in terms of base units. With this, we'll end this video lesson.